of it, but Mark Hendrickson was involved with most of it.
Pretty cool, aren't they? Call the Reno Airport regular meeting to order on February 9th, 5:30. We'll start with the roll call. Start with Ms. Ryder.
Here.
Trustee White.
Yep.
Vice Chairman Ballhorn.
Yes.
Trustee Jensen. Chairman Robinson.
Yes. Consent agenda, the following items are to be considered routine by the Reno Airport Authority and will be acted with one motion. Should the discussion be desired on any item, the item will be removed and considered on consent agenda, considered separately. Approval of the minutes of the January 12th, 2021 meeting, regular meeting of the Reno Airport Authority. Approval of claims requiring trustee authorization for the period beginning January 1st, 2020 and ending January 31st, 2020.
Make a motion we approve.
Second.
A motion, a second. We'll start with Ms. Ryder.
Yes.
Trustee White.
Yep.
Vice Chairman Ballhorn.
Yes.
Trustee Jensen. Chairman Robinson.
Yes. Discussion item, discussion, consideration, possible action on the El Reno Airport, Regional Airport on the 5-year plan. Do you want Adam or Matt or?
If you don't mind,
Adam,
Mr. Fox.
do you mind?
I think Mr. Fox is ready.
Well, good evening, everybody. Hopefully you guys have had time to look over this in depth and kind of see what the overall grand scheme of the airport's 5-year CIP, capital improvement plan. I think that each and every one of these projects are essential. It's basically to get us where we need to be, you know, basically very competitive to your Will Rogers, your Wally Post, and then some of the other outlying airports like your Shawnee, your Weatherfords, and whatnot. There's several things in there, and I think I'll take a 10,000-foot view, and if you guys have any questions, please ask them. But basically what we're looking at doing is, you know, right off the gate, we're going to, there's some things that we're asked to be flexible on, and that's that pavement project for the runway, the concrete project, which is joint seal. So that is going to be in the first year, and then we're going to have several other projects that kind of pile on top of that one: the runway lights, the taxiway lights, signage. Basically, just getting so that all the flight schools in the Oklahoma City Metro that fly out to our airport, get them something to be able to reference. But then also make it so that our corporate pilots that fly into our airport know where to find me and know where to find the fuel and all those things, because that's so important. And make it easy, in and out kind of deal for those type of aircraft. And then we got some projects in there to open up some economic development. So a taxi lane project, which includes us removing a hangar and also building a new hangar. And that's so important because right now at the airport, we do not have any hangars that basically fit the corporate pilot, okay? So we don't have anything to fit an aircraft with a tall tail, and that's crucial for the success of our airport, right? And so that's going to open us up so that we can start catering to those customers. And then it's also going to have some room for us to have what I like to call red dirt ready areas to develop new hangars in the near future. So that's really important. You see that in there as well. And then later down the road, you'll see that we're going to finish off that lighting project and signage that I mentioned. And then and to include that, it's a lot of money. A lot of money is coming from the state of Oklahoma and the FAA. And what we're going to do to basically, so we have non-primary entitlements, so we're going to do what we've done in the past, correct, Mayor, is we've swapped with another airport that with their entitlements. So we're banking up, and so that's what you see there with that transfer in 25 and 26. So I didn't want to confuse anybody. We're not giving our money away. What we're doing is just swapping that with another airport so that we can actually have that project go underway and actually complete.
And Adam, we've done that. I don't think you all been, but I've done that before, and we had a partnership with Ardmore. It was several years ago, Dr. Carter and myself, but we did that swap. And what that does is allows us to get one project off, and then instead of losing the money, like you're saying, we're not really losing the money, it just banks the money for another one, then we use those funds that they have in order to do that. So it allows a lot of us local airports to work together on projects. And one year I think I banked 2 years just to help, get me built back up to do what we had to do, Timmy. I think that was when
think we did our terminal that way also.
It was.
Postponed it.
We postponed it in order to catch 1 year to go ahead and make that the $1 million matching funds.
And that's not in this, by the way, the terminal building, because we're pretty much saying that's underway.
Yeah.
We're already, getting started on that pretty much, and so that's not in this 5-year plan. Any questions?
Exciting.
I'm very excited.
I just want to make sure this went before. I know, Timmy, you saw some of the stuff that you got on the email, but this went before the airport board last week. We were all out there. It passed 100%. They liked the projects. I do want to make sure that everybody understands this is a fluid working document. Now, so I want to make sure, and someone comes back, well, you said year 2. I'm a little concerned with the demolition of the hangar, the hangar number 2.
Hangar number 1.
I'm sorry, hangar 1, and I'm a little concerned, that being in the next year, just because we're pretty tight right now. It's pretty tough, and you see that little incline jump in that second year. So we want to make sure that that might not happen. That might be able to put back. We've done that in the past. We want to continue that. So as far as the precedents, I just want to make sure. I don't want someone to come back and say, well, that's what you all said. Yes. We are trying to get a plan together, and we have a 5-year plan together that we're getting together for, and we've done this every 5. We try to get a plan together, long term. We rebuilt the airport, the runway, and everything else, doing the same plan. But the bottom line is, I want you to make sure that this is a fluid document that this can change. So if someone comes back up here and gripes about, that's not what you said, well, that's true. It might change, and in today's economy, in 2020. Anything can change. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that. Is that right?
And this is a document that we'll bring before you about this, actually, hopefully December of every year. And we have to do this because the FAA, what they want to show is $750,000 of need, so you get your $150,000 of entitlements each year, which, we can talk about that offline, but that's pretty much what we're doing. So each year you may see something different in here, but this is a guideline, a guiding document that will be fluid and changed every year. This is just the outcome we're looking for. Yes. This is to really get us to the next level. Right. And these are just the very central. There's nothing that's crazy or far-fetched in this.
And don't forget, the last 5 years, guys, we've done more at that airport than they've done in years. I mean, we've got a new fuel system, new fuel truck. We've redone the tops of the new hangar. We've redone the tops. We've got in line and in place, and Lochner's already starting to charge you for the plans for the new terminal. I mean, you got a brand new multi-million-dollar terminal coming here. And that's already underway. It'll be, started, end of summer. It'll probably start in the summer, first of the year, under construction. So we've done the fuel system itself as far as taking the old one out. We've got new tenants that we've worked on, that we've remodeled out there at the airport. We've done asphalt work on all of the outlaying roadways. We've done ditch work in order to get the water. We've done some work across the street where the water runoff was out there. So, we've done more than we ever have, and we're going to continue to do that. And as much as Adam's doing out there now, I mean, it's unbelievably busy.
And it's full too, right?
He's full. Yeah.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. We'll start with Ms. Ryder.
Good job, Adam.
Yes.
Trustee White,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Ballhorn,
Yes.
Trustee Jensen, Chairman Robinson,
Yes. I have a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
39, I call the El Reno Recreational Authority regular meeting Tuesday, February 9th to order. We'll start with Ms. Ryder. Here.
Trustee Robinson.
Yes.
Trustee White,
Yes.
Trustee Jensen, Chairman Ballhorn,
Yes. Consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by El Reno Recreational Authority and will be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on any item, that item shall be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Item number 1, approval of minutes of January 12th, 2021, regular meeting.
Motion to approve?
Have a motion and a second. We'll start with Mr. Jensen.
Trustee White,
Yep.
Trustee Robinson,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Ryder,
Yes.
Chairman Ballhorn.
Yes. Discussion items. Discussion, consideration, possible action regarding resolution number 21-026, a resolution establishing fee changes charged by the City of El Reno and El Reno Recreational Authority for El Reno services at Crimson Creek Golf Course. Mr. Camp?
Mr. Chairman, one of the things after assuming this position 19 months ago, I wanted to look at, how competitive are we, what product are we offering, those kind of things. And some of you had asked us to look into our rates, we've adjusted water rates, things like that. So our Parks and Recreation Director, Jeff Colvin, and Kevin, the general manager out there, had to go back and do some research and some, look at the rates, highs, lows, competitive throughout the state. And then we also took it and narrowed it down to what we feel like are the competitive market here. Some of the Oklahoma City courses, things around there like that, and where are we in that? It's been 2 years since we've even looked at the rates. There were some minor adjustments in 2019, then in 2017, there were some minor adjustments back and forth. The annual passes had not been adjusted since 2013, they've been the same.
Correct.
So we wanted to look at those and see, how we could make sure that we're offering a product for the right price and we're being competitive. So what you see in front of you there is we took it in a kind of a two-tiered approach here. It'd be very difficult to adjust annual fees in the middle of the year. So what you see at the top and back behind you for the document on the annual passports, those would become effective on July 1st because a lot of people pay monthly, some of them pay annually. Overall, to simplify it, it's a $200 increase per year for our residents. If they receive a 10% discount, you're talking $180, that's a $15 a month. I think that's very reasonable since they haven't been adjusted in so long.
Sure.
Everything you see below there affects what we would consider our daily rounds. And one of the things that we discovered as what people consider green fees, that's what you cost to play. The card is another fee. Our green fees were very competitive. We really don't want to try to go above the market because then we're shooting ourselves in the foot for play. We had the best year we've had, as far as I can tell from our other systems and all, one of their new systems, as far as rounds and everything. But one of the things that we run into with COVID is it's putting a strain on our most expensive item out there, and that's our golf carts. Because people started riding. Instead of every round, we're using 2 carts instead of 1 for those 2 guys. And that's going to cost us in the long run. So what you see below the annual passports, to summarize that, is reflecting of a $2 per round increase in the cart amount. But it just reflects when you see green fees with cart. We're asking that those become effective April 1st because we think we can capitalize some right there for the rest of the season that will help us at our year end and our budgeting for next year. But this did go before the advisory board last week. They unanimously supported the increases. We did give them some options on the annual pass because most of our annual pass holders are El Reno residents, and they felt like that was a reasonable amount at the $200 a year.
Good.
And don't forget now that over annually, once you become a member, you have to pay the whole year. You can't just pay the one season and drop out. We've changed that.
Yeah,
So
right.
you can pay monthly,
Yeah.
but you have to have financial, it's automatic withdrawal or automatic on your credit card.
for a year.
If you try to stop that and try to not pay us, you're not going to be able to get an annual subscription or an annual pass the next year unless you pay it all up front.
Yep.
So we are now where people used to be in arrears 3 or 4 months or whatever.
Yeah,
and
we changed that.
No,
Well-
no more. It's a yearly deal.
And to make things better, I mean, we haven't done anything in years.
Well, we've done
And
adjustments.
we've already
There's some
sprayed
small
twice,
adjustments here and there
Yeah.
over the years.
but we've already sprayed twice, I know,
Yep.
correct?
Oh, yeah, well, I mean.
And so,
We've done substantially more maintenance. We've got an actual plan in place for the maintenance out there with Mr. Coburn, Mr. Weisner out there, and we see it working. We saw improvements last year, and, chemicals cost money.
Sure.
That's all there is to it. And the cost of doing business is going up a little bit, but I think with this last year and the improvements that we're making, that we'll continue to see improvements. You know, you all are aware that we've made changes in the golf facility itself out there. Started to expand it somewhat to, I'm just gonna say cater to more than just golfers. If that's a recreation area out there, that's what we want.
Correct. Correct. All right, thank you. Do you have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. We'll start with Mr. Jensen.
Trustee White,
Yes.
Trustee Robinson,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Ryder,
Yes.
Chairman Ballhorn,
Yes. Motion for adjournment?
Second, for motion?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Matt. It's now 5:46. I now call the El Reno Hospital Authority regular meeting, Tuesday, February the 9th, 2021, to order. Roll call vote start with Ryder.
Here?
Trustee Robinson,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Ballhorn,
Yes.
Trustee Jensen, Chairman White,
Yes. Consent agenda. The following item be considered routine by the El Reno Municipal or El Reno Hospital Authority and be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on that item be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Number one, approval of the minutes of the January 12th, 2021 regular meeting of the El Reno Hospital Authority. Number two, approval of claims requiring trustee authorization for the period beginning January 1st, 2021 and ending January 30th, 2021. Can't do it.
Motion approved.
Got a motion?
Second?
Second, roll call vote start with Jensen.
Vice Chairman Ballhorn,
Yes.
Trustee Robinson,
Yes.
Trustee Ryder,
Yes.
Chairman White,
Yes. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Got a motion by Ballhorn, second by Robinson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. It's now 5:47. I now call the El Reno Municipal Authority regular meeting of Tuesday, February 9th, 2021 to order. Roll call start with Ryder.
Here?
Trustee Robinson,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Ballhorn,
Yes.
Trustee Jensen, Chairman White,
Yes. We'll go on to new business deletions, continuances to the agenda at a time. Are there any? If not, we'll go on to D, consent agenda. The following items be considered routine by the El Reno Municipal Authority being acted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on that item be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Number one, approval of minutes of the January 12th, 2021 regular meeting of the El Reno Municipal Authority. Approval of claims requiring trustee authorization for the period beginning January the 1st, 2021 and ending January 31st, 2021.
A motion.
I got a motion by Robinson,
Second?
second by Ryder. Roll call start with Jensen.
Vice Chairman Ballhorn,
Yes.
Trustee Robinson,
Yes.
Trustee Ryder, Chairman White,
Yes. Discussion items. Number three, discussion consideration possible action to approve change order number one in the amount of $6,300 to accept project number K14 for the El Reno Lake Lift Station rebuild and make final payment to Stevenson Backhoe an amount of $11,300. I'd like to pull this item. It's not quite ready, not on Stevenson's side, but the electricity hadn't done. We want to double check that before we pay anything.
Correct.
So I'd like to go ahead and pull that. We'll move on to four, discussion, consideration, possible action to approve change order number one, project number L03, Boynton storm sewer replacement in the amount of $13,776.40 to SAC Services. Basically, as we were going through this project, we redid all of the tin horns. The tin horn located down on the, it'd be on the west side of Boynton. We had a blowout down there. It was kind of a major project. But while we were here and we go ahead and do it, there's also a problem with that water. It comes down to Watt Street and basically goes back into this deal. So what we had come up with, I asked the engineer, it was kind of my idea, but we asked to go ahead and do what they call an inverted roll curb on that, basically on Watts itself. So basically what's happening is down Boynton, the water's breaking and going down Watts. Does that make sense? So what I want to do is take that inverted curb, move it back to where the water goes directly back down to Boynton into regular drainage on the other side, back by Norton's or wherever it runs. It makes a lot of sense. The engineers agree with me. It's a change order. They're there right there. We can do it in concrete instead of bringing an asphalt company out. It's going to cost you more money if I got to bring an asphalt company out now to do that. While they're there, let's go ahead and invert it, be done with it. That helps two houses over there from stop flooding when the water comes in.
Motion approved.
I got a motion.
Second.
Roll call vote start with Ryder.
Yes.
Trustee Robinson,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Ballhorn,
Yep.
Trustee Jensen, Chairman White,
Yeah, oh yeah. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve change order number 2 for project number L06 drainage improvements to serve Rogers and Moore Street in the amount of $1,120.55 to EMC Services. Basically the same thing. Down there, there's basically a pipe there that I wanted to go ahead and extend out to go ahead and give coverage for the landowner and everything else that helps them get in and out of their gate. We're there. It's $1,102.55. They've got most of the project done. They've sodded half of it. I went down and looked at it. We had a problem. Facebook Warriors got on there, and basically, one of our guys, it wasn't even us, it was a contractor that drilled through the hole, the pipe. We had it changed the very next day. We were aware of it. We told them. We were on top of it. So it's going to be a nice little project. It's about 5 houses there. They're in a flood zone. They're absolutely in a flood zone. They're in a hole. This is hopefully going to help them.
Make a motion to approve?
Okay. Roll call vote. Start with Ryder.
Yes.
Trustee Robinson?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Ballhorn?
Yes.
Trustee Jensen? Chairman White?
Yes. 6, discussion, consideration, possible action to award project number L22, North Boynton Drainage Channel, and allow chairman and mayor to sign all documents associated there too. This isn't quite ready. I had some questions this afternoon, and I had some questions Friday that were answered. They're engineer questions. Once again, I was right, so I'd like to pull this one until they get corrected. There's no sense in doing something wrong.
Okay.
Move on to number 8, discussion, consideration, possible action to purchase 1,980 tons of rock under the...
Wait, 7.
7.
Well, we don't have to do 7 if we don't want to. 7, discussion, consideration, possible action to purchase 2008 John Deere grader 772 D from Canadian County District 1. We've done this before. The last one we had, that's the one I bought from Phil Carson. We like doing that because we know the machinery. They take care of it. They have service records. It's a good machine. We got to have a grader. Got a lot of county roads. You'll see, as I was trying to get to, and you all four abruptly interrupted me on channel 8 there. I was trying to get the rock covered. We got to get some rock down because of all the roads. This grader will help us get a lot of those roads that we need covered. Not Jensen, Brad. Okay. Anyway, so we that's what we're trying to work on.
Got 2 bids on it.
Yeah, we got 2 bids on it. Basically,
Quite a bit of difference, wasn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean,
One's
just for a couple
different.
years newer, but
Well,
same hours.
And the bottom line is the 772s. That's a common. It's what they need. It's multi-fits for us. It's we don't need anything more than that. It's not a tool we use every day. The grade all we use all the time. So we need to do it.
Motion to approve it.
Got a motion.
Second.
Got a second. Roll call start with Jensen.
Vice Chairman Ballhorn?
Yep.
Trustee Robinson?
Yes.
Trustee Ryder?
Yes.
Chairman White?
Absolutely. Discussion, consideration, possible action to purchase 1,900 tons of rock under the Canadian County 6-month bid. Basically, this is the rock to do their, the roads and everything else. Now, the only thing I don't think staff, which I know Marcia is aware of and Amy is aware of, but I want to make sure, Western Aggregates does not sell, and I'm part of that group. We don't sell any rock
Right.
to you all, never have. They're restricted to come out there. They don't have an account. They're restricted for
That's
count.
the Delisi account.
It does. It comes out of Delisi. But I just want to make sure I do have the 6-month bid with Canadian County, and so does Delisi. So I'd like to, in the motion, if someone would go ahead and say with Delisi. And don't say a certain area because I don't know if they're going to get it from Cooperton or...
I make the motion with Delisi.
All right. Make a motion to accept Canadian County 6-month bid with use of Delisi rock.
Yep.
Thank you. Got a second? Roll call vote. Start with Ryder.
Yes.
Trustee Robinson?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Ballhorn?
Yes.
Jensen? Chairman White?
Yeah. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Got a motion by Ballhorn.
Second.
Second by Ryder. All in favor say aye. Aye. We're adjourned. I'll do mine sign too. It's now 5:54. I now call the El Reno City Council regular meeting of Tuesday, February the 9th, 2021 to order.
You'll be on the amended.
We'll start off with, I'll tell you what, we'll call, yeah, Ken threw me off. I thought, what is he coming here for? Were we in trouble? It's Melanie. We'll go over with, start with roll call with Ryder.
Here. Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Jensen? Mayor White?
Yes. If you all can please stand. Roger, would you lead us in the word of the Lord?
Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we pause on this busy day to be thankful. Tonight we're thankful for these men and women who are public servants, who are doing the business of their community that they love. We thank you for these members of our community who are here to be participants in the democratic process. We also thank you for the staff who devote many hours to the work of this community. Today we lift up those who are sick or infirm from the virus and pray for our first responders who are responding and taking care of those in need. We continue to lift up our city and our country and pray for all those present. Amen.
Join me in the flag salute, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Be seated. Next one will be presentation of Oklahoma Municipal League certificate for 25 years of service to Miss Melanie Worthing. And Melanie, Mike's not here. We'll go over here, right in front of the cameras. Where's the cash at? Do you have that, or? Okay. We want to present this to Melanie Worthing for her excellent service for the city of El Reno, 25 plus years. I'm not going to say any more than that. And so this is from the Oklahoma Municipal League. Mike Fina, and I'm on the board, so him or I give the presentation. Melanie, we're so proud of you and what you've accomplished, and thank you so much. We'll get a picture here. Act like you like me a little bit. Okay. Got it? I do want to state a couple other things. Melanie and I grew up together, went to school together. She is absolutely, I think Chief Brown and Deputy Chief Dickerson will absolutely agree with me. She has a class act. She has brought so much to us. She's been a part of us, whether it be record keeping over the years to dealing with all the dispatchers and everything else. We could not do it, Melanie. Now she runs the office for these two gentlemen here, and she does a great job for that. Melanie, you are epitome of a city employee, a municipal employee, and it goes back to the point to where all that you've done, all the service you never have, every time we've ever asked you to do anything, you've been the first one to raise your hand and do it. You never squealed or complained about one thing or anything else, and we just cannot thank you enough for what you've done. The department itself would not be where it is without you, and I know these two gentlemen absolutely unequivocally agree with me. The steps that you've taken and helped us get the automation and all the remodel that we did, a lot of that was based on yours and Mr. Brown's recommendation of how we wanted to do that and what we wanted to do. We were a part of that. I'm so glad and so proud of you being a fellow classmate of yours, and you're way older than I am, but by at least 2 months. But we really appreciate you a bunch, and like I said, we cannot think of anything that would be better than this piece of paper, but then just to thank you. And you really have helped us grow our community, and the citizens are ever indebted for you. Ken, did I forget anything? Do you want to say anything? Great hand. Yeah, we could not do without you, Melanie. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. She got something. Now she got your cash for you. Oh, there's a pin in there. That's what I was supposed to give you here, Melanie.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Melanie. Well, we're lucky to have Melanie, I guarantee you. She's one of our many long-time employees, and we really appreciate everything Melanie's done for us. So, all right, let's move on to new business deletions, consent agenda time. Are there any? If not, we'll move to consent agenda. I'll get you next, Brad. The following item be considered by routine by the El Reno Municipal or El Reno City Council be acted with one motion. Should discussion be desired, that item will be removed and considered separately from the consent agenda and considered separately. Number one, approval of minutes of January 12th, 2021, regular meeting of El Reno City Council. Number two, approval of minutes for the February 2nd, 2021 special meeting of the El Reno City Council. Number three, approval of resolution 21-027, resolution adopting supplement 14 to the 2014 Code of the City of El Reno, Oklahoma, dated October 2020th, and approval of budget amendments for the fiscal year 2020-2021 and ending June 30th, 2021, and approving claims required by council authorization for a period beginning January 1st, 2021 and ending January 31st, 2021.
Motion approved.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Roll call, start with Jensen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn.
Yep.
Councilman Robinson.
Yep.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes. F, audience participation. Have an item being presented to the city council does not appear on this agenda. Please come to the podium and limit your presentation and state your name and business. You're limited to your presentation for 3 minutes. Any item being presented must pertain to the city of El Reno business. Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? All right, we'll move on. I'm going to move to item number 26.
Which is on
I did that because I got to get Brad out of here. And I'll come back to 26. Discussion, consideration, possible action regarding the Canadian County Livestock Show to take place March the 5th through the 9th, 2021. Brad, we have always come up here through the permit process. You guys, we've worked through this before. We had our the show last year. We went by, you all brought us a presentation of how we were going to do that. The species were divided up. It was all classified up. It worked out great. We had no complaints. We all felt good about it. Everything went real well. We felt good about the whole process. The only question I think was this year was how we were going to do that feed. And, we normally, I've been on the fair board before, but we normally, they normally feed about 500 people. Timmy, you've been out there several times. And what we do is we have that. And our question was kind of, how are you all going to do that? And I think their question is, well, we're going by the rules that we engaged from last year. And then, this year, we were kind of looking for guidance. Basically, we're not going to require a permit for this because you're parking on our land. We could probably actually do it, but you're not doing the regular permit fee like we did with the fairgrounds to have all the rides and events on. But the bottom line is that the fair board, the only question ours is if we're restricting the fair, or I'm sorry, I keep on saying fair, the show with the species and everything else, we're doing all the practices there. How are you going to do the feed and the auction? And basically, the bottom line is that, and this is going all over, Brad. They've had a couple of deals, but they're all going through the same process. We talked about even moving it, but then I forgot OYE's Oklahoma Youth Expo's coming up, so we can't do that because we're going into steps there, so I can't bypass that. So they're kind of caught in a pickleball. But the bottom line is, I think the fair board met 2 weeks ago on a Thursday night, and they decided that not the city. We didn't have anything to do with it. Brad and I talked. We didn't, I told them my concerns, and there was concerns to come back up here. We were going to ask questions, but they don't have to have a permit. The bottom line is, you're not required to have a permit, but they're going to do it safely and have the show like they did, and they did a great job last year. We had no problems, no complaints. It was perfect. They're not going to do the feed because the buffet style deal, it's going to be hard to be able to do that. And I think that the board has agreed to do the auction, which is y'all's choice. That's your deal. It doesn't have anything to do with us. Right. So we just wish you well. If there's anything we can do to help, let us know.
Right. The auction will be online, and we are getting information out in the newspapers. A flyer to the buyers went out today. So we just hope everybody will tune in and support the youth of the Canadian County. And
the bottom line is, Brad, we're all trying to be safe, and you all have worked right. We have absolutely had a great rapport, you and I. We've done this. These are challenging times the last 2 years that we haven't been able to have. So we understand that, and we know that it's not just the animal side of it. People are wrestling, people are playing basketball. They're not being able to do things, and that's what our thought process is. This is mainly a school function, and you have a lot of schools restricting what activities they do. So I commend the Fair Board for making the choices they made. You guys did a great job. I think you chose the right way to do it. I think by the questions of having the safety up first and not having the safety in the back, that would have been a big mistake for you all and us and everything else. So I commend you, and you don't have to have a permit, and we appreciate you.
Well, just wanting to still provide an event for the youth, and I think we're doing that.
You are. Brad, thanks for coming up.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Brad.
All right, we're going to move on to discussion items. Number 6, to conduct a public hearing and consideration request by Gary Owens Development Incorporated to establish a planned unit PUD with base zoning district, multifamily residential R3 on a tract within the rural agriculture, A1, and light industry, I1, zoning districts, and tract being approximately 33.6 acres located on the south side of East Elm, west of the South Shepherd, within the northwest quarter, northwest 4, section 16, township 12, North Range, west of the Indian Meridian, in Canadian County, Oklahoma. I now consider this public hearing open. Basically, come on up, Mr. Box. We've had, well, I'll tell you what, just a second. Let me get Dustin. Where's Dustin at? Let me get him up first, Mr. Box. I apologize. All right, Dustin, this was brought, we knew we had a lot of complaints because there was a lot of activity, so we had a pre-meeting that's not required, that we didn't go by anything. It was just an extra meeting, and that meeting was held a couple of weeks before the Planning Commission, just to get a better handle of what the neighborhood was wanting to do. At that point in time, we were hearing all kinds of rumors. We wanted to get everybody together, and I appreciate Mr. Box, who represents Mr. Owens, and Mark Grubbs, who's the engineer on that also represents Mr. Owens, came out. We met with a handful of neighbors. They were very good. They asked great questions. I think we all had a better understanding of what the problems and challenges would be on both sides of that. And I really believe we had a pretty good meeting coming out of that. And then it went on to the Planning Commission.
It certainly did.
And then they went on to the Planning Commission as regularly scheduled. And it went through the process. The Planning Commission had some great questions and had some add-ons that they wanted to do that they felt strongly about. If you all haven't been over and see the development, it's located over off of basically Check Hall Road and just past Reno. It's a nice little development. Went over there and looked at it. And so it's been a nice little development for our, nice little tool in our toolbox for our 55 and older. So basically, Mr. Box and Mr. Grubb presented the process, and you see it on the back page there. You can see the proposed land up here. Basically, we came up with some, scenarios. They were concerned with the industrial back behind there. I think Mark agreed, Mr. Owens agreed to take all that off. We talked about entrance and egress. We adjusted that. I think we're going to talk about that a little bit. We talked about water issues. The Planning Commission talked about water issues. I think we have a resolution with that. So we came up with a bunch of things that we felt like that were good for the project and good for the citizens that live out there. So that's kind of what we came up with. It went to Planning Commission, Dustin, and it passed 100%, right?
It did pass, yes.
I
believe it was 100%. I don't have that.
Okay, well, they're saying yes. Okay, I thought it was too. I didn't know if anybody. So it passed 100% at Planning Commission. Now it's before you. Any questions, Dustin?
No. And everything that was listed as in the staff letter, everything that was listed as something that the Planning Commission recommended has been inserted into the PUD design statement that you see today.
And I want to add some more stuff. I've been coming up with stuff the last week, and I wanted to add some other stuff. But I've talked to Mark, and we want to make sure, the bottom line is, here's what we got to make sure of. We're here for the citizens that have the houses, like Otis and Miss Carnot, and the McManamans and Richard. They all came, we all kind of discussed that. We asked, we went through the whole process of what we need to do and what we could and couldn't. And we really feel like doing these breakdown sessions kind of helped us give a better understanding of the project. So here's kind of some of the concerns I have. Any other questions or any comments?
I don't, unless you have any other questions for me.
No. And Mr. Box, before you even come up here, I think that we're pretty clear on, it's a pretty, we'll get into some questions if we have any, but the bottom line is Mr. Owens is wanting to put some houses up over there. He's owned that property for several years. I was second bidder on that property, man. I should have bought it, shouldn't I? And it's a great piece of property. He's been doing these products for senior living, and he has a couple of them, but one of them's over in Mustang area, and it's located off Check Hall Road. Check Hall Road, and basically they're duplexes, quadplexes, whatever you want to say, type areas, and it's 55 and older living, and it's not income based. So and that's one thing that we do not have. At Ashland's on the Greens, I have a lot of people that want to come in from Minco, from Okarche, and they want to live here, but they want to just have someone take care of their yard and everything else. And that's basically what this product is. This product's for 55 and older people that are traveling, blowing and going, seeing their kids, doing their other stuff in half the time and out. And, I think he rents those over for $1,200 a month. Everybody says, well, what, I don't think the people pay it. There's a need for this. There's a lot of people that don't want, they want to live in a place they don't have to take care of. They're all mowed up. They handle everything. If something breaks, they'll fix them. They're rental units, but they're not based on income. So you can't, we're not asking for supportive income. The ones that we have that are income eligible, that has to come back to this council and has to be approved, and they're not asking for that. And I'll show you what we have in there later on, like the Ashton on the Greens or Woodson Park, or like the one down at the old Southern Hotel, Entrada.
Yep.
And I was a part of all three of those, and they all absolutely have a great niche in our community. But this is a little bit different product. It's been proven that it works. He has a waiting list over there now, and we feel like it's good. So basically, that's a development, and over there at that location, I think they have 100 and did you say 120? 125 current structures over there, living quarters. So that's what it's about. So any questions? I have some things I want to add to it. Now, it'll be easier to go ahead and read these. I think some of the questions that were concerned by myself, the citizens, and Mark, and the Planning Commission would be the traffic study, language to specifically state the necessary transportation improvements will be made at the developer's cost. And they'll do a traffic study, basically, and they'll pay for that. And, that will probably include some acceleration, deceleration. That's what we're going to ask for, but the traffic study will lay that out. I can't make them do it unless the traffic study lays that out. I think we have to do some bridge improvements on Elm Street and Donald. It has to be a partnership. That's our road over there. So I think that if we do a partnership to not exceed to Mr. Owens $85,000, we'd split that with him at that point in time and give us an opportunity to basically do that improvement right there at that bridge area at Donald and Elm Street right there. It needs to be done. It needs to be done bad. We can't change the railroad bridge, but we can change that. Veneer, I think, would be one thing. I would like to do 80% brick or rock to hold them to that deal. That's what they stated. That's what they want. We don't have a problem. That wouldn't include the doors and windows. But the bottom line is there's just a little bit on the eaves that make it look like a home, which you need to have that wood-like material or the shingle, whatever they got up there, composite, but it'll look good. But all the rest of it's all brick all the way around. And that's what they want, and that's what we want. Trash can enclosures. The only thing that's a little bit different for us is when I went over there and looked at that facility, the trash cans were all out front and they're blowing around. If we could just do a little kick out, just the size of the trash container to where you can hide the trash can back behind that area, I think that would help with the look of it, the cleanliness of it, and then it would also help with not keeping the neighborhood bad. We'd like to require that. And then some of the things that MPC requested was removal of the slash zoning. So that's already been, we're going to do that. That's okay. And then setback, we'd like to have 75 feet from the center line of the road. We have 33 right now. So that'll give us a plenty of setback off the roadway to help us do the acceleration or deceleration lanes if needed. And then 10% additional stormwater storage in detention basin in addition to the calculated runoffs. And basically, Mike, you and I kind of talked about this. Our concern, yours and mine concern, and the neighbor's concern was a runoff. I did this at council. If you all remember, I did this when we did the, was it the cut or the other one?
It was LKQ.
LKQ. I added an additional 10% just to cover that. So what we'll do is we'll have Steve Fox look at that and come back and adjust that, and then we'll add another 10%. And we feel like the Planning Commission and us and the neighbors, that was a big concern for them. They realized where the water is. The engineer took note of that. It probably varied from your plan. That's probably where their retention, it's not on their plan because we don't know exactly, what they're going to lay out. But that was absolutely a concern, and they believe that that's okay. It's cheap to fix 10% at the bottom of a pond. And then the other one is two total entrances instead of four, where they had four adjusted, not to be directly aligned with the houses across the street. They were aligned with the houses. These are either aligned with the driveway or Donald Street is where they have it presented. And then the other one's management of lighting, which is in the code. But they added that. So that's kind of what my thought process is, and I'll make the motion if you'd let me after we have discussion. But I want to make sure all these are included in that motion to help to keep us all straight. Is there any questions this time?
I've got a question. How much, on your project over on Check Hall Road and 15th, what's the percentage of brick that you have on that facility?
These are the images of that one, so it's.
I mean, I've driven through and looked at it.
Yeah, it's at least 70%.
Okay,
70% of city, Oklahoma City requirements.
okay,
It's really just the accent pieces that end up not being.
right, okay, okay.
But the 80% covers what I want with the brick veneer or whatever else, so they can put a fence up?
And bricked all the way
Yes,
around.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you want to do 80%, and then, like I said, that'll be good. And I don't mind going down to 75. I mean, I don't think it really matters, because I'm not including the windows or the doors or anything else, so it's.
I mean, that facility over on Check Hall Road looks nice. I mean, I went in there and looked. I know that facility over there, you had the senior living stuff, but it looks like in whenever Gary Owens and stuff built that project, he's got some freestanding homes in there as well. Are y'all thinking anything in
No,
this?
there's no
project?
freestanding homes in that development.
They're not back behind?
That's a separate.
Around it,
Yeah,
but not where that is specifically.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Will there be options for them to purchase instead of just renting?
no.
There's no option to purchase.
It's a rental property only. That's what the product is. That's what's happening is, and they're doing them all over in Oklahoma City right now and everything else. This is, the baby boomers are getting to where they don't want to take care of things. They're selling their farms and everything else, moving into town because they need to get medication. But that's the bottom line is that's what this is. That's what it's designed for, and it gives us another tool. Any other questions?
I know this is probably just the plat that's drawn out where Donald Street lines up in there, for the retention pond and stuff would make sense. Some of that's will have to be adjusted.
We can't do that. That's going to be an engineer deal.
Right.
Well, yeah, so once we design that, Mark Grubbs, 1800 South Sarah Road. I'm the engineer on the project. Once we get in there and design the stormwater, we're gonna figure out how big it needs to be. And that's merely a concept.
Right.
But the PUD is the document that we have to adhere to. So if a driveway has to adjust some to make
Sure.
that detention work, then we'll have to adjust
Sure.
it. But we just haven't got into the details of it yet.
But basically, my motion in this would cover that. It can't line up with houses. And that's the point, is you don't want them coming out of the house. So what I was thinking is if we can go ahead and have them adjust, and I put in my motion, the two total entrances, I'm only giving them two entrances, will not directly align with the houses. So basically, they'll either align with a driveway or a piece of property that's not developed right now. Now, it might end up being a house later on, but that's not our problem at this point in time. They decide to do that or sell that land. Right. But right now, it wouldn't line up with that. And in my motion, that would cover that.
Will there be a clubhouse or anything like that in the?
Office.
There's an office area.
I don't know the answer to that, but I would guess so, because there's a clubhouse at the one that has 125 units.
Okay.
That's the attraction for them, so
Okay.
I would assume so, but I don't know the 100% answer. But if he's gonna do it for 125 units, I imagine it'll be in there for this project.
And don't forget, that'd be like asking him, are you gonna have white appliances in there or you stainless steel? That's something he's gonna have to market to. That's something that he's gonna have to deal with. He does have that current one because it was a spec home, a show place to show him what the house would look like at that point in time. But we don't know if there's gonna be a clubhouse or not, and that's his option. That would be whatever he'd want to do, just like, if you wanted to stainless steel or white appliances in your house. That's something, the options they'd have to decide.
One of the things that will also be required that was passed at the last council meeting was the requirement for backup generator for warming. It won't go in the PUD. It's just part of our building code now, part of our that was the fire code, fire marshal and mayor that led that effort to get that.
And that basically wouldn't be every unit, but at least be one unit, and that's probably what he'd want to do. Any other questions?
How many units or living quarters are going to be in a freestanding deal? Because
Don't know yet because
over there is you mentioned 3 a while ago, but there's more than 3 homes. Some of those you line up, you get up to I don't know, from A to J or whatever.
Tell me again now. What now?
But if you go where those units are, if I was looking at the right development over on Check Hall, they're lined up A, B, C, D, E, F, G, through at least J.
Okay,
So
but
the biggest one we have over there is a 12-unit building.
Right.
And that particular layout, imagine, I mean, once they get so long, you have to start stepping them, so it's just it's kind of a grading issue, but I wouldn't imagine, I would say 8, that'll be 6, I mean, I wouldn't imagine them being any bigger than 12, it'd just be kind of a layout issue.
But the bottom line is, all that would go through the code and the planning side of that deal. It wouldn't matter to us. They won't know the layout till they get the topos, till the drainage to see what they're gonna do to the layout. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't make them do that. Now, the question is, how many units gonna be? They're building 6plexes and 8plexes over there, so just count on that. They're gonna try to get as many as they can together. And don't forget, I think Kent and Matt will back me up, at a certain point, once they go over a certain square footage, they're gonna have to do other things as far as sprinkler and everything else, because that all goes back to code. So they're not gonna wanna break those up in big buildings to have a big slew of them that has 23 in there, because they're gonna have to do other things in order to get that covered, based on our code. Now, I'm not speaking out of turn, I'm just telling you what would happen.
Understand.
That make sense? Any other questions?
What about walking trails for the seniors? Any walking trails?
Sidewalks.
But based on our code right now, and we haven't seen the layout, what they want to do, we talked about having a little walking deal. But once again, I think it goes back to the point to where I think they want to get in and see if the units are successful, see how many they do. We are requiring them, based on our code, to have sidewalks. So whatever they develop in that whole front, it's going to have sidewalks. Now, it might be a sidewalk to, Tammy's Pond or the cemetery. I mean, but. That's all we can require them to have at this point in time. And I think it goes back to the point to where you don't know how many units they're going to have. That's up to his. We don't want to get there and tell the developer how to do his business. Right. Now, we can tell the business, how we want business done in Reno, and we're going to do that. We're going to tell you how business is being done. That's what's going to protect us and them and everything else. But the bottom line is, he's going to have to be able to get that up. He might build, he has 120 units over there. He might not build, about 50 or so until they get full. I mean, that's his business, man, his model, everything else.
The market bears.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Any other questions?
How does it line up with the new route to the future plan?
Yeah, Brian, matter of fact, it goes right with it. Residential into the other, so if you can see right there, it goes right to it. Matches to the whole thing.
If you can see where it's pointing there, that shows that whole area as, actually it shows it as small lot, single family, which multifamily would be slow rather than go, but it's certainly better than industrial, which is what the back half of it is, and agriculture is not that either.
And we're getting some of that industrial off doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That was kind of the caveat that we all came up with, and that helped the neighborhood, and it helped us. Any other questions? Any questions from the public? Any more questions from the council? I'd like to make a motion. We approve. All right, I'm in the public hearing. Roger, calm down. Gotta show my. Give me a second. Let me have a fighting chance. All right. Any other questions? I now consider public hearing closed. We'll move on to B, discussion, consideration, possible action regarding the ordinance number 9254, an ordinance establish a plan unit PUD with base zoning district, multifamily residential R3, a tract on within the rural agriculture A1 and light industrial zoning districts. Said tract being approximately 33.6 acres located on the south side of East Elm Street, west of South Shepherd Avenue within the northwest quarter, northwest 4th, section 16, township 12, north range 7, west of Inbreeding in Canadian County, Oklahoma. I make a motion that we approve this development for the 55 and older seniors with these restrictions. The traffic study language to be specifically state that necessary transportation improvements will be made by the developer at the developer's cost. That would be and could not be limited to acceleration, deceleration lanes, etc. Number 2, bridge improvements at Elm Street and Donald. We will split those not to exceed $85,000 for developer. Veneer, 80% brick or rock. That's including with the windows and the doors and everything else. We would like to have trash can enclosures, to have the trash cans to be covered up so they're not noticeable. The most important one the neighborhood wanted, I think, besides the water range, is no income restrictions. This means that you can make $12 a year and live there. If you have provided someone's going to pay your rent, or you're going to be able to pay their rent, or you can make $2,300,000 and live there. So there's no income restrictions. It can't be low or high income restrictions. It cannot be tied to the other ones. I think it's very important. Also, removal in the industrial area that's been designated, setback from 75 feet from center line, and then 10% additional stormwater storage in detention basin, in addition to the regular calculated runoff figures that the engineers come up with. And then total of two entrances, not to be directly aligned with the homes. And then management of lighting.
Make a motion to approve.
I got a motion, we got a second. Roll call vote start with Jensen.
No.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn.
Yep.
Councilman Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes, motion carries 4-1. Guys, we appreciate you all. There'll be a lot of seniors out there. Make sure they remember who voted for it and who didn't. Another dig. Well, we're open. You make sure, hey, we're open for a business. We appreciate that. We made you guys go through a lot of hoops, but the neighbors really appreciate it. I talked to all of them today. They're not all of them. I didn't get to talk to Carnites, but they're all tickled to death. I know Clay and Tammy talked with Gary, so we really appreciate you all. This is a great solution. Thank you. It's the way to do business. All right. Move on to Phyllis. I think you're next.
7.
All right, number 7, to conduct a public hearing, consideration request by Malcolm. Oh, Malcolm's first, and Phyllis Blair to reclassify the zoning district from rural agriculture A1 residential RE Estates, approximately 2 acres, located at 3004 South Reformatory Road within the Northeast 4, Section 24, Township 12, North Range 8, west of the Indian Meridian, Canadian County, Oklahoma. I now consider this public hearing open. Okay, Dustin, where you at? Basically, this is brought before the Planning Commission. Mr. and Mrs. Blair, they've moved into town, which is about like another 1.5 miles for them, and they want to keep the farm area and the barn next door, and Ms. Trejo sold the other house, so we're trying to clear up some paperwork in order to make that work. Is that correct?
That's correct. They were not able to sell, make that sale until they got a lot split, and the lot split required the rezoning.
Okay. And was there anybody protesting this at all?
No.
And the Planning Commission voted for it 100%?
100%.
And basically this is going through the ropes to get them free and clear so they can close on their house?
That's correct.
All right. Anything else? Any questions? Nope. Any questions? I now consider the public hearing closed. 7B, discussion, consideration, possible action, ordinance number 9255, an ordinance request of North Malcolm and Phyllis Blair to reclassify the zoning district from rural agriculture A1 to residential estates RE, approximately 2 acres, located at the 304 South Reformatory Road within the Northeast 4, Section 24, Township 12, North Range 8, west of Indian Meridian, Canadian County. I make a motion we approve. I got a second by Robinson. Roll call start with Jensen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn.
Yep.
Councilman Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes. Move on to 8, to conduct a public hearing, consideration request by, nope. Yeah, that's right. That's it. You're done. Get out of here, Phyllis. Thanks, Malcolm. Appreciate you a bunch. Number 8, to conduct a public hearing, consideration request by MJF Properties LLC to reclassify zoning district from light industrial I1 to automotive commercial recreation CAR, approximately 1 acre, located at 421 East Penn within blocks 47 and 48 of the Reno Original Township, Canadian County, Oklahoma. I now consider this public hearing open. Let me get Dustin. Let me get Dustin first. Come on up, Dustin. Mike's too excited. Dustin. This basically went before the Planning Commission, is that correct?
It did.
Okay, and it passed?
It did.
With 1 abstention. And basically, this is an area what I call the old foundry. And the Freemans have already tore this property, cleaned it up. It looks great. I mean, you can see everything looks wonderful down there. So it looks good, and they want to propose storages. They had the storage It would be to the, a little bit to the, yeah, I'm going to say catty corner from there on the other side. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Was there any questions or protests?
There were no questions, no protests. Really, the existing I-1 zoning here does not match Route to the Future at all. CAR also doesn't, but it's also a step down, getting away from the industrial near that. The real reason that Mr. Freeman asked me about rezoning this property is if we go 2 Slides Alley, it is the setbacks. Because the lot currently is within the I-1 zoning district and it's next to existing residential, the sensitive border standards apply on everything except for the pink rectangle there.
That's why we have another item coming up to close that road that dead ends into the bridge.
That's also shown up here, but that's really one, it allows him use of more of his space there, and 2, it keeps that from being an industrial use in the future.
Gotcha. Is there anybody here against the property? Anybody else? Mike, it's pretty, she's not against it, I don't think. Is there any questions from you all? All right, I don't think, hang on, Mike. I always tell people, if you don't need to talk, don't talk. I tell my wife that. Yeah, I got you. Any other questions? All right, I now consider the public hearing closed. All right. B, to consider, 8B, consideration and possible action of ordinance number 9256, ordinance to the request of MJF Properties, LLC, to reclassify the zoning district from light industrial R1 to automotive commercial, CAR, approximately 1 acre located at 421 East Penn within blocks 47 and 8 of the El Reno Original Township, Canadian County, Oklahoma. I make a motion we approve.
Second.
I got a second. Roll call start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yes.
Councilman Jensen?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. All right, we'll move on to 9. Conduct public hearing consideration request by MJF Properties, LLC, to vacate North Hoff Avenue between East Penn and East Foreman Road, and to vacate the alley running north and south through the block 48 of the El Reno Township between East Penn and East Foreman Road, and between North Macomb Avenue and North Hoff Avenue. And basically, Dustin, same type deal. You're trying to close that, and the main thing is the property owner on both sides of the property.
Give 50/50.
With a small exception there on the south end of the alley, that would go back to the property owner to the west or the east. Nobody uses either one of them for access.
But they have access to that property. Okay, any questions? Any questions from you all? Okay. Any questions of this? Any questions? Consider this public hearing closed. Move on to 9B. Discussion, consideration, possible action, ordinance number 9257, ordinance on the request of MJF Properties, LLC, to vacate North Hoff Avenue between East Penn Street and East Foreman Road, and vacate on alley running north and south, block 48 of the El Reno Original Township between East Penn Street and East Foreman Road, and between North Macomb Avenue and North Hoff Avenue. I make a motion we approve.
Second.
I got a second. Roll call vote start with Jensen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. Motion carried. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Jensen. That was easy, wasn't it? You didn't have to paint my face or nothing. Thanks, guys. It looks great, y'all. Really, it looks really good. All right, we're going to 10. To conduct public hearing, consideration request by On Point Hoops Corporation to reclassify the zoning district from residential commercial CR to multifamily R3, approximately 0.29 acres, located at 517 North Admire, more particularly described as lots 1 through 4, block 20 of Clark's Addition to El Reno, Oklahoma, Canadian County, Oklahoma, according to the recorded plat, therefore. All right, I now consider the public hearing open. All right, Dustin, this was brought before the Planning Commission, and it was passed 100%. This is basically, he's wanting to do some housing over there for his On Hoops program. I do have some questions. Are they here?
Is anybody here no, not that I'm aware of, no.
Well, now, you kind of know my rule. If you're not here, I mean, they need to be here. If this is important, they need to be here.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Now, it's weather. I know it's bad, but they need to be here to answer. I mean, they got parking signs there now. You can't park on the grass. There's no parking. I mean, there's no parking there. I have questions on some of this. I don't think it's a problem, but they need to be here. Would anybody I'd like to table this until they can come. I mean, Timmy, we've always kind of done that. Yep. Tracy, I mean, they need to be here. I wouldn't even ask them. If we ask one question, they need to be here. Yeah. All right, I make a motion we table this. Okay.
Do you want to complete the public hearing?
I do. Sit down, Roger Jr. All right. I now consider the public hearing closed. We'll go on to B, discussion, consideration, possible action, ordinance number 9258, ordinance request of On Point Corporation to reclassify the residential R3 approximately 0.29 acres and located at 517 North Admire, more particularly described lots 1 through 4, block 20 of Clark's edition of El Reno, Oklahoma, according to a recorded plat. Therefore, Dustin, that does, but once I close that public hearing out, we don't have to do another public hearing. So they can just come up here and just do B next time. Okay. I'll make a motion with table.
Second.
We got a second by Jensen. Roll call start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Jensen?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Oh, yeah. Number 11, discussion, consideration, possible action. Number 9259, the ordinance of the City of El Reno Council, Oklahoma, amending Article 31, Section 176D1 of the Chapter 275, unmanned aircraft system penalty, establishing penalty for violation of repealing ordinances and conflict, preventing for severability, and declaring it an emergency. Basically what this is we've had a drone ordinance we've been working on, and this is basically clean up and go from there.
Motion approved.
I got a motion.
Second.
I got a second. Roll call vote start with Jensen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ryder?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes.
Motion for emergency.
I got a motion for Birdsey Robinson, second by Ballhorn. Roll call start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Jensen?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. Discussion number 12, discussion consideration possible action. 21, resolution of the City of El Reno, Oklahoma, amending resolution 19-021, in part including a fee for 275 through 176, article unmanned aircraft using listing and or establishing a schedule of fines. Basically, this is a fee schedule is what this is.
Fines.
I got a motion by Bob, second by Robinson. Roll call start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Jensen?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. Is there some, which one are you all waiting on? What?
We were coming for the second meeting of the Wildwood rezone.
I'm glad you said that. I made you all stay here for nothing. It bombed so bad that they didn't even come back. So that deal's over with, I guess.
Well, I knew there was a lot of resistance, but
Yep.
we were told to go ahead and show up tonight.
Yeah, it's been pulled. They gave up. They're not going to do it.
We enjoyed y'all's company, though.
Shoot, yeah.
Well, but I am going to tell you this, and I'm glad you came, and I've talked to a lot of people out at Wildwood. I think you all have known that, but, you know, I want you all and the neighbors to know, we appreciate you all, and this is the third deal I've done with Wildwood. We don't provide a lot of services for you and everything else. Remember the other one was the water one, and we had some trash issues. But you know, one thing that we do for you all, we want you to know that we have zoning laws that protect you. And that's why we appreciate you all. There's some nice homes out there, so we really appreciate you all, and that's what we do. So I want you to know that. Okay?
Well, and you know, we've had a couple of major fires out there.
Yeah. And you're in our fire district, and we fight, and you know, we don't have the plugs out there, but we have it. Matter of fact, that's why over the years, we've had tanker trucks and stuff because you fall within our realm. That kicks us in our, I'm not going to say it right, ICO rating. Did I say that right? ISO. I knew it was close, ISO rating. So we understand it because there's options where we were going to maybe, you know, DNXC or whatever else, but the bottom line is we're there to protect you, and it's worked out real good. They had a water well situation there. They're going to put some sand plant out there, and they were concerned with the water, and we hired a hydrologist. Roger Reinhardt worked with us very closely, me and Mr. Rivera at the time, on that project. So thank you all for coming up. I didn't want to waste your time anymore.
We appreciate what you do for us.
Well, thank you, guys.
See that.
Good to see you guys. Holler if you need anything, okay? I knew you all were just misplaced. I thought, what are they doing here?
Well, and you know,
Listening to you.
we need to talk sometime about, giving some seeing for you.
Give me a call. All right. See y'all. Good seeing you. All right. 13, discussion consideration possible action to approve ordinance number 9260, an ordinance, City of El Reno's amending article, I don't know, what is that article? Be 27, add a section of 8001 dash I, it's chapter 334, part 4, solid waste disposal, establishing a penalty for violation, appealing for ordinances of conflict, and prevailing for severability, and declaring emergency. Basically, this is another fees, isn't it, fees on the solid, yeah, resolution on solid waste.
Dumping.
Yeah, dumping.
Approve.
If you want to go out there, for septic tank, you can dump out there. You got a motion? Roll call vote, Hart Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Jensen?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Oh, yeah.
Motion for emergency.
Got a motion? Got a second? Roll call start with Jensen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ryder?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Oh, yeah. 14, discussion, consideration, and possible action. Number 2129, a resolution, City Council, City of El Reno, amending resolution, part of including penalty fee for illegal dumping with city limits, list and establishing a schedule of fines. Basically, here comes the fees Lindy's going to attach to you.
Motion approved.
I got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Roll call vote start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yes.
Councilman Jensen?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. Number 15, discussion, consideration, possible action authorizing filling petition for declaratory judgment, declaratory judgment terminating the El Reno Urban Renewal Authority and distributing all remaining aspects to the City of El Reno as beneficiary. Basically, we have some lots that we've, in the past, they've let us sign, but apparently they caught us doing them, oil minerals and some other things are coming in. So Roger has absolutely cleared all that up for us. So once we do this, it'll all be written. We'll take this document, send it in, and the checks will come to the City of El Reno, which that's where they were going anyway, the general fund.
That's the goal.
Yeah, well, that's what should happen.
That's it. Agreed.
Okay,
Motion approved.
I got a motion.
Second.
Roll call, let's start Jensen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ryder?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. 16, I pulled. Number 17, discussion to also action, approve change order. Number 1 for project number North Boynton Storm Sewer in the amount of $13,767.40 to SAC Services.
For authority.
Now for authority, second by Ryder. Roll call start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Jensen?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Oh, yeah. 18, discussion generation possible action to approve change order number 2, project number LO6, drainage improvements, serve Roger and Moore Street, an amount of $1,120.55 to EMC Services.
For authority.
Got a motion by Ryder,
Second.
second by Ballhorn. Roll call start with Jensen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ryder?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. I'm going to pull 19. That's right. Thank you. Just want to double checking. Number 20. Discussion consideration possible action, purchase a 2008 John Deere grader 772D from Canadian County District 1.
For authority.
Per authority Ballhorn.
Second.
Second by Robinson. Roll call start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Jensen?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. Number 21, discussion consideration possible action to purchase 1,980 tons of rock underneath the Canadian County bid, 6-month bid, and don't forget it would be per authority, which would cover the deal. Okay, yeah. Per authority, but I got a motion by Ryder.
Second.
Second by Robinson. Roll call start with Jensen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Ryder?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes, discussion consideration possible action on the El Reno Regional Airport 5-year plan.
For authority.
I got a motion by Ballhorn. Second by Robinson. Roll call start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yes.
Councilman Jensen?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. 23, discussion consideration possible action regarding resolution number 21-026, resolution establishing fees changed by the City of El Reno and El Reno Recreation Authority for El Reno services at Crimson Creek Golf Course.
For authority.
Per authority, Ryder.
Does look better.
Second Ballhorn. Roll call start with Jensen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ballhorn?
Yep.
Councilman Robinson?
Yep.
Councilman Ryder?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes. Okay, what we're trying to get on our meetings on Wednesday, you have in front of you, just take that with you. We can schedule times. We've done this in the past. Tracy, Timmy, Bob, I don't think Steve, we hadn't. But what we'll do is if you have some areas, you might drive your ward out and help me, and then tell me what roads are on, that you'd like to see that are not on this list. We'll take this list and Amy will come back and categorize it based on the wards, and I'll take that out so you have a generalization of what's going done, then you can focus on your ward. So take that with you, look at those, and those are the ones that basically that we've had over the years. We don't have enough money. They've been prioritized like they might have been a 3 or a 5. So they're, we have prioritized on them. So
I have a question.
yes,
On this list where it says Parkview, is that Parkview Drive or is that going to be SSM, that whole area out there at the hospital where that?
no, that's out there. But we had that on the list, and we can take that off. But if we want to, it's the old Parkview.
But I mean,
The whole parking
lot.
drive.
It's Parkview Drive.
Okay. Thank you.
But we can look at that and take whatever you want off and add whatever you want to, and that's just kind of how we do it. And really, I say take them off. They stay on there, but we need to prioritize them based on money. And then what we'll do is, I always do a rough calculation because I've done this all my life. I can tell you kind of what they're going to come in with. We'll have enough budget to have a couple little fluff, and then we put it out to bid. Does that make sense? And then we'll be awarded the bid, and then we'll have those streets listed out. Now, what would happen in the past if we had extra money, which we don't, as it came in or whatever else use tax came in, then we could add a road in there or take one off. Okay, move on. 25, there's no action on that. 25, discussion and acknowledgement regarding Oklahoma Municipal Insurance, OMAG, coming March 9th, regular meeting to implement the resignation program for the city council.
Everybody has to be here for that.
You got to be here. The bottom line is, this is something that Lindsay and I got you into, and you're just roped into it. If you don't do it, you guys are pretty sorry. It'd be like voting against a senior living home, not wanting people in town. What we do is we take this and we have these classes that we get paid $10,000. We take that. Past council, we've been trying to put that towards our employees. That helps with their stuff. We hadn't done a whole lot last year because we couldn't do the bowling or the tournaments or anything else for the employees. But it's kind of their employees club, and it makes us suffer through the deal. But it's really a good deal, and Bill comes out and does it, doesn't he? And Bill does a good job, and we got to be through the whole thing, and it's kind of a little class we got to take. All right, move on to 27, financial reports. We got the sales tax numbers in there, basically a little bit, what they were last month. Marcia's not here tonight because of the weather. She wanted to go home. I don't blame her. It was kind of getting bad out there where she's at, and so she needed to get home. But if there's any questions on that, I hope that Matt and I can probably answer them for you.
Have the numbers come in yet for January for, is that what this is right here? If there's another one that's
Yes,
coming
there
in?
is another one.
Yeah, there's another one. It's
About $750 for the,
$750 for the regular sales tax.
and about, it was
113. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I got it on my check. I was gonna say I got to do.
Five fingers. Here we go.
787.
Yeah.
On the sales tax and 159 on the use tax. I'm rounding there for you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That's all right.
I'm glad use tax is up some.
Well, yeah, but no, not really, because use tax was coming in at $1 million. Yeah, I was gonna say, but don't say that loud because people are gonna think that. I'm joking with you. All right. Any other questions on financial?
Nope.
Okay. We'll go on. Mr. Jensen, you got anything?
No, I mean.
Bob?
Nope.
Timmy?
No.
Trace?
No.
Okay.
Whoa.
I'll be real quick. We got the movies are in town. I think it's been real good. I think everybody's really kind of enjoyed that. A lot of businesses have really bragged on some of the deals they've worked out with some of them and some of the landowners around there and everything else. It's been good for our community. We have several more coming. We feel like, we're in the run for a couple more, three more that we know of. So we feel real good about that. We feel real good about them just coming and being part of our community. I think they'll be done here tomorrow. Wrapping up tomorrow or the next day. Gosh, it's cold today. But other than that, I think everybody was pretty excited about it and feel good about it. And it's been good for the community.
Brought a lot of people in.
Yeah, it's brought a lot of people in, and they're kind of hemmed up on some of their stuff, but they are shopping local and doing some things, and that's great that they do that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Any other comments? Motion for adjournment? Oh, Mr. Sandage, you have anything?
Well, I'll just add on to, we just got our sales tax report yesterday for this last month. As you can see, it's trending pretty flat. We're beating our budget by a little bit, but we will be starting the budget process, and so that's going to be, we're going to have to sharpen our pencils this year to get that process done, but we'll bring that to you here in the next few months.
Going to add on that, just it's probably going to be the toughest budget we've ever put together. It's going to be absolutely the toughest budget we probably ever put together, that I've ever been.
It will be a very tough budget this year.
This will be 2008 numbers, budget 9. So, we're going to have to make some decisions, and I do tell you, I think selling those bonds helped the $10 million because it helps the capitals. If we can kind of keep maintaining everything else, and we're going to have to look at some seasonal help. We just can't do what we did last year to make it work, and we're going to make some decisions. We might catch some flack on some things, but we're going to try to kind of get together. Mr. Sandage and Mr. Legali have absolutely done a great job of getting all the information. We're going through the process right now, meeting the department heads, Mr. Sandage is, and I'm going to help Matt with the budget, with Marcia and all three of us. We're all going to kind of work together on it and present it to you, but I really feel, We've done great. Don't forget, I had the reserves. We've had plenty of reserves. People come up here and criticize. Hell, I had $5 million worth of reserves. You're eating all those up. Give me one more tornado this May, and we're in trouble. And, that's just the reality of it, guys. And we're getting some money back, but it's trickling in. It ain't just pouring in. And that last storm we had, you go to Oklahoma City, they're still picking up limbs over there. They're still picking up limbs in Yukon and some of the other areas. We've got all of ours cleaned up. We had a plan. We had it grinded up. It was like a well-oiled machine. And that's because of our employees and because we had a plan in place, and we made some decisions in order to do that. So, go ahead.
One more item that Kent's pointing out down there, our new IT and audio-visual. This is a bond project for IT. And now we're on YouTube. YouTube Live, whatever, Facebook Live, Channel 20, Right Alley, what else are we on?
And we streaming live through our website as well.
Streaming live through our website, yeah. So in the age of COVID, you can tune in live in HD quality, so.
Looks great.
Yeah, we really feel good about this. This is something we needed for a long time. People always say they can't hear us on TV, so here they can.
Hopefully that's fixed, yep.
Any other questions? Mr. Sandage, you got anything else?
That's all.
Okay. Mr. Legali, you have anything?
I'm fine.
Okay. All right. Motion for adjournment? Second. Roll call start. All in favor?